trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
And I approve this message.
Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders. Just win, baby, win, baby, win, baby.
We are the
Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders, Oakland Raiders. Just win, baby, win, baby, win, baby. Don't need no invitation. We are that Raider Nation. We rock that black and silver. We make them shake and shiver. We make them reconsider. And we still committed. So if you want a piece of this, you can come and get it. Touchdown, touchdown. Let's throw a bomb on first down. Let's throw a bomb on every down. First we score, then we clown. Having fun, look around. Nobody loud as a Raider crowd. Nobody proud as a Raider crowd. NFL, how you like me now? We gon' do this open style. Nothing but action. I'm Bo Jackson, hit the hole. Run you over, goal line. Jumping over, going crazy. Lose your soul, lose your mind in the black hole. Here's the goal, Super Bowl. And everybody here, get to go. Don't need no invitation. We are that Raider Nation. We rock that black and silver. We make them shake and shiver. We make them reconsider. And we still committed. So if you want a piece of this, you can come and get it. Oakland Raiders.
Raiders, what is up? What is up? Day 2 of the draft. Day 1 is over. Big dog. We were there yesterday. The Modelo draft party. How you feeling? How you feeling, big dog?
Good, man. Hey, I'm happy that day 1's done. No more speculation, at least for that first round. Everybody was talking about so many different names.
Right.
You know, as much as Genty was, 98% of everybody thought Genty was the number 1 running back in this draft.
Uh-huh.
He was the big guy, and so
Yeah.
But obviously, with all the other names floating around, it's good to know that it's done. It's over. We got Genty. But it's crazy that sometimes the way that players were picked goes completely against what these mock draft simulators.
Oh my God, yeah, 100%.
Like I think it was, obviously do that mock draft all the time on my on my channel when I go live and stuff with Chris and Severe. And my thing is when we did the first one, I was like, what I hate about these mock draft simulators is that it is a horrible representation of what is actually going to go down, the way players are valued, the way players are ranked. We'll talk a little bit about like kind of the surprising picks, or maybe the people you're surprised at where they went. I think that's the biggest thing is the mock draft simulators are just so damn off that it's hard to do these mock drafts thinking these guys are going to be around at a certain time. So, yeah, man, but I'm happy it's in the book.
And you know what? That's why I only do so many of them. I don't get too into them. I know my first year doing this, I did, just because I thought it was fun or whatever. But you're right. The scenarios, the way they evaluate players, I think a lot of the times it goes based off what the media is saying is hot right now, and then who should go and who should be there and stuff like that. But there's definitely some surprises. Obviously, Cam wasn't. They went with Cam.
Yeah.
But when we saw that first trade, like Cleveland traded it away to Jacksonville, we were like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of what I wanted us to do was just have that trade where you move back 3-4 spots. Not a trade where you're going back into the middle of the round or the later, the back half of the draft, the round. But man, I want us to move back a couple spots, and maybe another second, but we sticked and picked, and Genty was the guy. But the Browns did it right. They traded back. I told you I'm not a big Mason Graham fan.
You're not.
But hey, Cleveland got him, and we'll see how it works out for them. But it's unfortunate. Some organizations they stay bad because they just don't know how to draft. I'm just
Man,
saying.
the way you broke down Mason Graham yesterday, I'm kind of glad we didn't pick him.
Yeah, like, like with good coaching, like I said, right? Like we were talking
Yeah,
yesterday, like with good coaching, you can pan out, but I just don't. The stuff that I see on film, I just don't want that at 6. Like that was my thing, right? And so,
Right.
So, but you start off, man, because you just told me that you posted a video of me of my reaction of JT the Brick up there yelling and screaming.
Oh yeah.
Genty. So, man, what's your initial thoughts on Genty?
So, I mean, I remember I told you, and I kept telling you and MC that day, I was coming more and more to the realization that day that was going to be the pick. It was going to be Genty, and even as fast as they picked, because remember it was the Raiders are on the clock, and then boom, the pick is in, like no hesitation, and we're like, oh shit, there goes the trade, right? There goes the trade idea. That's not happening. And then once it came out, I was like, I guess I was cool with it, because I expected it, but at the same time, it's like it goes back to, did we have to take him at 6? Could we have gone back a little bit, Could we have found some? But then again, was somebody willing to trade up with us? Who was there that somebody was willing to trade up to get? I think that was the problem, Yeah. But, I mean, the nation seemed happy. Everybody wanted the running backs. They keep talking about us. Building
that draft party went off yesterday when we picked them. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody was for Genty. Yeah, there was a couple. Shout out to Samoa Raider. Samoa Raider, they're chilling with us. I know he was on the Shador train like I was, and it was there. It didn't happen, and yeah, like I said, they knew what they wanted, and it was funny because some people were saying, I know my boy Jay was saying the whole Genty thing was a smokescreen, right? We weren't getting Genty. Like, no way. They were just saying that to cover up who we were really going to get. And the way it happened, bro, there was no question it was Genty. You heard Max called him last night, right? I mean, the night before.
Oh, I know. Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess at his podcast, he shared that he called him the night before and told him he was ready to go to war with him. So then Genty shared that Max had called him. So Max kind of knew it as well. Yeah, Max kind of knew it as well, that if Genty was there at 6, we were going to take him. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, when you pick at 6, right? If you pick at 6, you're just in that spot where you still could probably get the best player at that position. Right? So that's what you want. At the end of the day, you're hoping that you get the best player at whatever position you're targeting at 6. And again, because 98% of the nation agree that Genty is the number 1 running back in this class, you got to at least give the Raiders credit. You got the number 1 guy, And so, again, I'm not a big fan of drafting running backs in the first round. I think that class was deep. There was guys that you get in the back half. You can get more day 1 starters, in the first and still get a really good running back. But hard part is he still like, you almost have to ask yourself the question, how long is it going to take for us if everything goes right, if everything goes well?
Right.
How long is it going to take for us to truly get to the Super Bowl where Genty's going to be the guy to help us get there? If it's 3 years, we were talking about this yesterday. You look at Justin Jefferson, man. After his rookie year, he's like, "No, I want extension. I want this. I want my money." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not going to be a trend now with some of these players.
Yeah. Especially the way JJ balled, the way Justin Jefferson balled. So because he was like the top receiver in the league that year. Yeah. I remember that.
They're not saying it's going to happen. You just got to kind of have this in the back of your mind that what if Genty in the next 2 years balls and he's like 1,600 yards each year and he's the guy, and all of a sudden he wants that contract, and now are you going to pay a running back all this money? And running backs don't get paid unless you're that final piece.
We're going to find ourselves back in the Josh Jacobs situation, right?
Yeah, like there's going to be all of a sudden the Raider Nation is going to start fighting all over again. Should we extend Genty? Do you want to keep Genty? And then they're going to look at, this player is going to be, coming out in this draft, and this running back's good. I mean, every year there's good running backs in the draft, and so I'm reserving my true emotions about this pick until the rest of the draft plays out, because like I was saying yesterday, I think I said it on Samoan's channel too. I think he He was doing some shorts, throwing them out
Yeah,
there. And
he
I was like,
interviewed you. Yeah. Uh-huh.
we better get a guard. We better shore up this offensive line because if we do that, if we shore up this offensive line, if we get a guard,
right,
one of the top guards in the second round, I got 3 that I absolutely love. 2 that I love in the second round. 1 probably in the third. Then I would say, okay, then you're seeing the whole picture. You're seeing the plan kind of play out. And you open up holes for Genty. If you can get Genty, if he can get to the second level, he breaks the D line. He can get to the second level untouched.
Ooh.
4 or 5 times a game.
Yeah.
Problems. Like he's going to be explosive. So it's tough, man. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a good pick because you got the best player at that position. It's tough. I want to see the rest of this thing play out to see.
But I think to your point about the Super Bowl, right? In 3 years, does Genty get us there? I think I think a lot of us see that as we're looking for that one player that's going to get us. Like Jaden last year, JD5. He got Washington, to the NFC Championship fucking game, and I think we keep looking for that. But if you look at what this regime is building, they're adding pieces. We got our quarterback now. We got Geno. I think Genty's just an added piece, and now you're going to see what they do the rest of this draft, right? Like how you said. Now I want to see. Okay, now that we got Genty, we didn't go quarterback, we didn't go receiver, right? Now how are we going to shore up and build up that offensive line? Like I want to see an O-lineman today. Yeah,
and we can't have any excuses. That's the thing. Is we can't sit there and go, Genty had, like, he could still rush for maybe it's 1,000 yards, right? Let's say he rushes for 1,000 yards this season, maybe, but then we can't have those excuses of, well, he should have rushed for 1,500, but our offensive line had holes, right? I'm saying, like, if Alex Kappa ends up being our starting guard.
Oh, God. I hope not.
And he's trash. It's the Cody Whitehair thing last year. We brought in Cody Whitehair. I hated the fact that we brought in Cody Whitehair. But if there's holes in this offensive line, and all of a sudden the blame isn't on Genty because he didn't rush for 1,700 yards, the blame's on the offensive line, then the Raiders messed up. They didn't give Genty what he needed to have the best chance at success. Right. And now it's nothing but excuses. And so, but me, I'm a big build in the trenches guy. Yeah. And so my biggest thing is, not only do you open up the running lanes for Genty, but you also protect Geno Smith. And if Geno Smith can do half of what he did last year with a crap offensive line with Seattle, Geno Smith could probably do good enough to get us in that playoff run, get us in that playoff hunt, if we can shore up this offensive line. But
I think so too. Yeah.
We just can't have any excuses. That's my biggest thing is don't let Raider Nation get all pissed off and argue with each other if we have a shit performance out of our offensive line and Genty just, doesn't produce what a number 6 pick should produce. Don't let the argument be, oh, well, the offensive line sucks, so that's why Genty wasn't very good. It's just like, no. Like, they better shore up this offensive line.
Yeah. You know what? I love running backs. Running back is one of my favorite positions. So I love Josh Jacobs. So when that whole shit went down, like it was hard for me. I really like Josh Jacobs. So now we have Genty. I'm excited, but then at the same time, it goes back to we use the number 6 pick for him. So I want to see instant success, like how you said, right? What does that look like? To me, like I think shout out to Rundown earlier. He had a show earlier. He's like, so what are we expecting now from Genty? I don't want to see it as I don't want to measure how many yards he gets or how many TDs, and that's successful. To me, a successful will be if the team is successful and we're winning games, and he's a huge part of that. Like with Brock, the same thing with Brock. Brock was a huge success, not only on his stats, but he brought a difference to our offense, And shout out to the chat. I can't see or load the comments. I'm on my phone. So if I don't see you, if I don't bring you up, I'm not ignoring you.
Oh, that's right. That's right, huh? Is there a way? Chris told me the other day that I could potentially control the chat too.
Oh, really?
I don't know if there's a way, but either way. But shout out to everybody. Like Robert, we see you. John Raider in the building. Jeff's in there. Rafa, all you guys, man. But what was it? D-Mokes, man, you saying watch us get Sanders if he's there. Man, I'm telling you, at this point, we went running back. If we get Sanders at 37, Leo, you might be on your own at Parkway Tavern today.
The dream is alive.
Because we're going to Parkway Tavern to watch day 2 and day 3.
Yeah.
Or I mean, the day 2 of the draft later today. And man, if I hear Shedeur Sanders' name at 37, Leo,
you know, there's one name I don't want to hear, and that is Jalen Milroe. I don't want to hear Jalen Milroe. That would be my thing. That would piss me off even more. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think that's the bad thing is and the comments are kind of flying in. A lot of people do like Genty, and look, like again, I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? It's just we better make sure we shore up this offensive line to be able to give him the best chance at success.
Yes, we need to. Yeah.
And so
I think the fact that we got Genty also solidifies the fact that Miller's going to stay. Colton Miller. I think they're going to work that shit out. I don't see him leaving, getting traded. You know, Michael Mayer hasn't gotten traded away. He's still here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't see it. And sometimes, like, the good thing, the other thing I'll add about Genty, right? The only thing I'll add about Genty is you want to make a pick that's going to potentially alter what your in-division rivals have to do.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. That's why we got so mad at the Broncos pick.
Yeah, Johnny Barron. I think they picked up.
Yes.
You know, and even with the Chargers pick, you know, the Chargers pick Omarion Hampton. You know, arguably the second best running back in this league in this draft.
Like,
and so,
bro,
with the pieces they added to that offensive line last year, getting Joe Alt last year, and all of a sudden now, they got themselves a substantially damn good running back. Like that's crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
Leo, I think Jeff sent you a super chat. I don't know if you can see it.
No, I can't. What does it say?
He just says, "Damn, Middle Five couldn't even host your first show. Hey, I'm rolling with you on Sunday. Or no, sorry, Saturday, tomorrow. I'm rolling with you." Yeah. We're rocking with the we were rocking with the draft at the Raiders draft party yesterday. Myself, Leo, Raiders for Chris rolled out. Man, it was fun.
It was fun, man. It was fun. Yeah.
But
they left me guarding the table, but it was fun.
But that's
I won that hat.
Oh yeah, that's right, huh?
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Hat. That shit was cool as fuck. Yeah.
And D-Moke says Chip Kelly being our OC makes our run game like 50% more better. Yeah, like Chip Kelly is going to explode this run game without question.
That's the whole other part I'm excited about is we're not stuck with the idiot we were last season. You know, so I guess that makes me feel better. The only concern I have, I guess, is Pete Carroll's son as the offensive line coach. Like, is he really experienced? Is he going to be able to get the job done? You know, how much help is he going to get? Does he need help? You know, or is it one of those I'm just going to bring in my kid and give him a job and you know, the O-line starts sucking. It's like, well, heads are going to roll, bro. Who's taking responsibility for this one, you know?
Well, and I think that's the biggest thing is I think Joe Philbin is still on the coaching staff.
Okay.
And so if Joe Philbin's still on the coaching staff, hopefully he has the ability to kind of give his insight as it relates to that offensive line.
Yeah.
And then, you know, kind of going back to my point of you want to draft in a way that's going to alter your in-division opponents' plans, like draft plans, Space Beast, Massey in the building. You said the Chiefs got the Ohio tackle. Yeah. You know, because I remember, I don't know if you remember, when we and this is kind of where I kind of changed my mindset and added this into what I think about in the first round or even just your draft in general, especially first round because you get top tier talent there. Is you remember when we drafted Colton Miller?
Yeah.
I forget. I think I wanted a corner that year. I forget exactly who I wanted, but an offensive tackle
probably needed a corner. Yeah.
Offensive tackle was not on my radar that year. Right. But if you remember, that was the year that the Broncos had DeMarcus Ware, and then they drafted Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
Or it was Von Miller and
Von Miller.
Forget, but they already had a damn good edge rusher, and then they drafted Bradley Chubb like 4 picks before us. And as soon as they made that pick, I said, "Oh shit, we need to get a tackle."
All right, we needed to shore up that line.
It altered what I wanted, and we ended up getting the tackle, which was again, I thought that was a good move at least. But I distinctly remember that round, that first round, that draft, because moving forward, I said, not only do you want to get somebody obviously that helps you, but at the same time, can you pick somebody that's going to truly alter what your in-division opponents have to do?
Yeah.
And I think Genty does that. I'll be honest. I think it'll put enough fear into the Chargers, the Broncos, the Chiefs to be like, okay, we now need to shore up this front line, this linebacker core as much as we can, because again, to Space Beast's comment and his point, you with Chip Kelly and how he could develop running backs and how much emphasis he puts on the running game, it might change what some of these guys need to do. You know, like, look, the Chargers might end up going because they lost Bosa. They might go get another edge rusher so they can shore up kind of the front, that front four. And so one thing, you know, to kind of ask yourself is, does Genty change the trajectory of your opponent's drafts, your individual opponent's drafts? And I think he could.
I think he could, especially if he does become more successful. You know, we become run heavy. The O-line gels together. They play great. And you're right. I think I've heard you say that before about, like, you start drafting to go against the people in your division, right? Who you play more regularly. And you see that shit, I think, with this team. Like, this is how you're going to beat the Chargers. This is how you do that when we're successful against the Chiefs. It's because we're running it down their throat and we're controlling them defensively. You know, that's how we beat the Chiefs whenever we do beat them. You know, we're never going to beat them fucking airing it out. We did that one time with Carr and Ruggs, and that was in Kansas City, right? And then we did that stupid thing around the stadium, and then that bit us in the ass. Yeah. But for the most part, the way they built this team is to go against the people in our fucking division, you know? And it makes sense when you think about, we definitely need that fucking running game. We do. And I get it. There was Omarion Hampton you could have got later. You still got Travion Henderson, Junkins, you know, a whole bunch of running backs that are going to hopefully come off the board today. So we'll see where they land. But I think the Raiders just did what they did last year, and they took best player available. And by all big boards, draft boards, whoever analysts you looked at, Genty was the top player left on that board. And that's who we took. Yeah.
Then you got someone in the chat. You got Broncos fan for life in the chat, and he actually put, "I'm nervous. We need offense. Keep y'all off the field." And so, no, I appreciate just being real, and that is the thing, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's that is one of the aspects that I look at when we draft, especially again in the first round. Is I want to pick somebody that's going to strike a little bit of fear in our divisional opponent. So, you know, I think. Again, I never took Genty in my mock drafts because I don't want a running back in the first. Because it's such a deep running back class. But now that we have him, next up, shore up this offensive line. Like that I think without question needs to be our number one priority. And so,
who are some dudes out there today that we should be looking at?
So, my favorite guard. Day two is Jonah Savaiinaea from Arizona, right?
Okay. He's one of the Ooses, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he played offensive tackle, and I was drafting him in kind of the mock draft simulators. You know, when we started this about a month and a half ago, right? I was trying to draft him in the second round as much as I could, and he was listed as a tackle, but it was only about 3 weeks ago where they officially announced him that he was going to enter the draft as a guard. And so, and I wanted to push him down to guard. Even though he was a tackle, I wanted to push him down to guard. Yeah. And so one of the things, and that's my number one guard this year. My next guard is Wyatt Millam. I'd love to see him out of West Virginia. He's 6'6", 320 pounds. He's an absolute, I mean, he's a mauler. Both him and Jonah Savaiinaea are maulers. They're going to put you on your back.
Okay.
But here's my thing is both of them played tackle and they're moving down to guard. And I think one of the things, and Jeff, if you're still in here, you might appreciate this. One of the things that is, I think, very undervalued when it comes to offensive linemen is the versatility of offensive linemen. If you can get someone that has played multiple positions.
Like Glaze.
Like DJ Glaze, right? I think that it allows them to understand the responsibility of all the other positions next to them. So let's say if we pick Jonas Savonea, for example, right? He played tackle. If you bump him down to guard, my biggest thing is that now he understands what that tackle's supposed to do in certain run schemes. And I've been a proponent for this. I've said it a lot. You're only as good as your weakest link on the offensive line. All it takes is for one out of the 5 offensive linemen to miss their one block, and now that defender makes a tackle in the backfield.
Parham.
So yeah, right. So they have to. Their communication has to be on point. They have to be able to understand what the guys next to them are going to do, because you double team a lot, you pass on a lot. You got to understand who's going to get to that second level and who stays on that interior defensive lineman. And so if you can't, if you don't have that communication, you'll find it to where, how many times did we see, even with Tyree Wilson, right? 2 guys basically just pass him up and go to somebody else because their communication was off, and now Tyree's unblocked, right? He's no one touches him.
Hey, unblocked Tyree's a beast.
He's a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer. What up, Christopher Raiders, man? I see you in there. And Moval, what's going on? We're just talking about it. He said, what position do you think we'll draft? Man, again, I hope it's guard. But when these guys,
I do, but Will Johnson's out there, so I'm just saying
he's out there. You're right. You know, and Chris will probably throw shit at the screen if we don't get Will Johnson, because he won in the first round. But that's the thing, is like, if these guys can already come in and understand what other positions are supposed to do in certain run schemes, it's going to help them communicate. It's going to help them be able to understand what the guy next to them is going to do. And so if you can get these guys that can play multiple positions, but also understand what other positions are supposed to do, it's just another value to what they bring that offensive lineman room. And so, you know, Wyatt Millam, he played both tackle and guard. And so he was mainly a tackle, but he also switched down to guard. So again, him having that versatility, I think is
huge.
Is huge. And so those are the 2 guys I want to see in the second round, potentially.
How many tackles got drafted yesterday? There was quite a bit, right?
I think 3.
Was it 3?
Because I think it was Membu, Calvin Banks, and Connolly. I don't know.
The dude who went to the Patriots, which one was he?
Oh, and Will Campbell. So 4.
Will Campbell, 4. Yeah.
The dude that went to the Patriots, Will Campbell. So I actually have it in front of me. So 1, 2, 3. Oh no, sorry, 5. Because Connolly went to the Commanders, and Kansas City got Josh Simmons, the Ohio State tackle.
That was 5 tackles, bro, that are already gone.
Yeah. So they're shoring up that offensive line. You know, so you got some of these teams, they're shoring up this offensive line, but so that's my thing. In the second round, that's kind of that's who I want to target as it relates to you know, who we're going to get at 37. And the thing is that I think Jonas Savonea might go first, and then Wyatt Millam might go second when it comes to the guard rankings, possibly. Right. And so, it's another situation where if Jonas sitting there, maybe you get him, or if he's taken before us, maybe you trade back a little bit, get a little more capital, and Wyatt Millam can still be sitting there. And so, is there
what about trading up?
I don't want to trade up. I'm not a big trade up fan. I value draft picks way too much, to be honest. I mean, unless it's like a sure shot guy, right? I mean, it's like last year. If we were more in that, if we didn't screw up and beat the Saints and beat the Jags to meaningless wins.
Here we go.
If we were
time out. Let's address that, because those meaningless wins, people were mad because it was tank for Shedeur time, right? And look at where we ended up at 6, and we still got our running back. So, did those games really mess us up?
or we could be sitting at 3 and trade back. Or we could have been sitting in the Brown spot, and the Brown spot, and the Jags could have traded up with us.
Did you?
They could have traded up with us. We could have been the Brown situation.
Oh, that part, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the Jags could have traded up with us. We stockpile more picks. We move back, and we still get Genty. You know, we I think
Yeah, but being that high, I mean, I wouldn't have passed on Travis or on Carter. Yeah. Mm-mm.
So again, neither here nor there. All right, my bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'll get off that. But I think that's the biggest thing is I value draft picks too much that I wouldn't want to trade up. But I guess going back, but again, if it is if we're sitting at 6 and maybe that quarterback is there, then okay, maybe you want to trade up. That's the only situation that I could see trading up being valuable is if you're going and get that quarterback that you know is going to be it. So like you obviously are a big Shador fan, so maybe you would want to move up a little bit to go get Shador, possibly. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think it just depends on how much value you put into the player you're going to get. And I think the only players that are truly worth going up and getting, in my opinion, are quarterbacks if you think they're the franchise guy.
Yeah.
So
I guess the only one I was thinking today would be Will Johnson because he's still there. To me, he should have been in the first round, right? Probably he fell to the second because of the whole injury thing. But like it would be pretty awesome if we were able to land him, especially because corner is such a huge need for us.
Yeah, it is. It is. And Christopher Raiders is saying, if anything, trade down. And yeah, guys, just a reminder, like he's controlled, but he's on his phone, so he can't pick up the chat. I can't either, but we'll try to read it out as much as we can. FBA Vin menu in the bill. I see you said we still need talent. All the other opportunities in the West improved, and we need playmakers. Wide receiver TSU, wide receiver Ole Miss. So you're looking at the receivers. I think it's Savion Williams, the TCU receiver, or Alex. Guys at Besh. I know those guys are at TCU. I like Savion Williams, man. I think he could be an absolute stud.
A receiver?
Yeah.
I could do for the receiver.
Yeah.
We saw Trey Tucker yesterday. Like, yeah, we need a receiver. Mm-hmm.
I know, right? Yeah, we did. And so, but again, it kind of goes back to, for myself, I want to definitely stick at 37. But are there anybody outside of Shador? We know you like Shador, but outside of Shador, anybody you want to see drafted?
Honestly, because we picked Genty, I'm cool with not getting Shador, if that makes sense. Because like I said, now I know we have to help Genty. Because now Genty's the one that came in. Now we got to help Brock. So how do we help Genty and Brock? How do we help Gino? So to me, it would be offensive lineman. But with what's left out there, I would like a receiver. We do need another weapon, or the corner. I think right now would be a good time to get a corner.
Yeah, Lorenzo's in the building. What's up, Lorenzo?
Hey,
man?
What up,
good
Lorenzo?
seeing you yesterday. He said Will Johnson. He's saying Will Johnson, so he is still out there.
Or the linebacker out of UCLA, bro.
Yeah, Schlesinger. Yeah, when we did that, when we held down that party at Barcode, I pulled Severe aside because Severe is a USC guy, and I was like, "Hey, man, all right, I got to talk to you about the guy."
Yeah.
He's like, "Who?" And I mentioned Schlesinger, and I was like, I started watching his tape, and the kid flies. He's just natural. And so Severe, he was like, "Oh yeah, that kid's a dog. He could be a baller." And so started watching more on him, and so it was good. I think that he could be a target in the second round. But man, I can't.
I remember seeing Schlesinger, not this year so much, this past year, but the year before, because I used to like Latu a lot. So I used to watch UCLA to watch Latu. And I remember seeing that. Like, who the fuck is that linebacker? Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But man, it was, yeah, he's definitely good. Oh shit, what happened?
Yeah, I think it disappeared.
Oh shit, there we go. That's what happened.
Oh, is Jeff in the building?
Yeah, Jeff is in the building. I think he joined the wrong channel. He's probably trying to test his shit.
Right. And I see Space Beast. You said this is why I like Milroe run goal line packages this year, and I'm like,
I heard Q say that today too. That Milroe would be instant participation because of that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's if you truly think that he could be developed that way. Then maybe I'm not a big Milroe fan at all.
Right.
But it would be nasty. Down the goal line. But,
That's true. That's true.
okay, we're seeing chats getting up on the screen. Oh, I think it's Jeff Control.
Oh, that's probably what Jeff is doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
just
you,
gonna
Jeff.
come in and put
Hey,
the chat
Jeff.
up for you guys. I'm gonna stay hidden.
Get
You
up.
too. It's your show.
No, you can stay on, big dog.
If you want, stay on if you want, man.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be quiet though. You guys talk it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. We
I'm
need
gonna
your
hide down the bottom.
we need your offensive line takes.
Yeah,
man.
you're the O line guy,
What
man.
the hell?
You must
That's
be
why I look good.
happy. Yeah. You must be happy we got Genty because now we got to shore up that O line.
I would have rather showed up the O line first, but
I know.
I know. And Raiders 01 Nation. He said, brothers, you still in Vegas? I mean, I'm obviously here. Leo's in Vegas. We're actually gonna go to if you in the area, we're going to Parkway Tavern off of Flamingo in Decatur, just west of the Rio, just down the street off of Flamingo from the Rio. Parkway Tavern. We're gonna be there around 2:00. So in about 30 minutes, we're gonna jump off this live, head on over there and watch day 2. And shoot, we might. Jeff, are you going live today for day 2?
yeah, we're going on at like 6:00 today.
Okay, that's 3 year time. Our time. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So we might.
The draft starts at 7 today.
Leo said he might go live.
Yeah. I'm gonna have my phone. I got it fully charged and I got my stand, so we'll pop in here and there, Jeff, if that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
During
Well,
the
yeah,
thing.
because it's off
Yeah.
yours. So yeah.
I couldn't do it yesterday because of the draft party. There were so many restrictions. So I didn't even want to fuck. MC had to leave some of his stuff with me anyway because there were so
Well, I
many
saw
restrictions
that
about
one
what you could
showing
take
you
in.
that video he put.
Yeah.
Up. Dude, I would have
Yeah,
spent my entire day yesterday at that 8 bar. Smoking
Dude,
cigars.
trust
I don't
me.
drink anymore, but man, I would have sat
Trust
there
me.
drinking my cranberry and ginger ale and smoking
Yeah.
cigars all damn day. I would have been happy.
That's where we
Dude,
went
me and
first yesterday.
Yeah, me and
Yeah,
MC
I
looked
saw
at
that.
each other like
lucky bastards.
it was nice in there. It was nice in there, huh? 805.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
nice
cool.
in there, right?
Shop, man.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's
The one
really-
I got was a little pricey, but it was good though. I can't remember what it was called. It was the one in the video, the one the lady said that Max likes. It was one of those, so I got those because he likes them sweet. Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, that place was cool. They got their cigars. I don't really smoke cigars anymore. I did it back in my early 20s.
Hey, but you got that fancy your little.
I got my scotch.
Your scotch.
I got my scotch.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Started the party
ordering-
out right.
He was ordering some like 100-year-old scotch and shit. Like, damn.
The
Mr.
I don't know.
Moneyback.
We should have went back there. I went to the Ghost Bar after. It was a good time.
Yeah.
But Raiders are one. You saying I think we get Sanders in the second. Man, yeah. Look, there's a chance. I mean, we thought there's a lot of people that thought the whole Genty talk with the Raiders was just smoke,
It was.
and it ended up not being just smoke. Obviously, we took them.
Yeah.
But real quick, I just want to get in. If we don't get a guard in the second or the third, there is another guy that I really like that will probably be there in the third. He might drop to the fourth. Is Miles Frazier, the guard at LSU. He's like 6'6", 320 pounds. You watch him. His pass blocking is probably one of the more impressive that I've seen on film. I mean, his eye discipline is outstanding. I mean, there was one play where he basically passed off 2 different defenders and still was able to pick up a late blitzing linebacker. And just so that just tells me his eyes are always working. That's the biggest problem I have with Dylan Parham.
With Parham, yeah.
Parham, I've seen it so many times where he ducks his head into interior defensive lineman and he doesn't see the next guy coming. And so he just buries his head, his eyes drop, and that's what kills him all the time. So my biggest thing is you look at Miles Frazier's film, his pass blocking ability is outstanding. Now, I think he needs a little bit of work on the run side, but you got to I think Joe Philbin is still on this coaching staff. You get Joe Philbin to kind of help him out a little bit. I think he'd do some pretty good things. And so that's definitely a guy. If we pass on guard and Wyatt goes and Jonas Savanea goes, I definitely want to look at Miles Frazier moving
So
forward.
we definitely want to get an O lineman today. We got to see one today.
I want to, man. Again,
You
no
want to?
excuses, man. You can't give Genty excuses or even this
Right.
even this front office, right? We all still have kind of PTSD from all of our draft picks in the past, you know.
Oh
And
God,
so,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
you know, this kind of, I don't want to throw this out there, but it kind of sets us up a little bit for if Genty doesn't work out, it's just all of a sudden we're going to say, well, here we go again with just
Right.
a shit front office making bad picks. You know, it's like we got to nail it. Just like we did Brock Bowers, which is cool. But you know, one doesn't cure all. We got to see some consistency.
Brock, JPJ, and then who was the Glaze, right? So those worked out last year. So we can do that again this year. Get 3 or 4 that work out. I think we'll be cool. Moving in the right direction anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and Raiders 01 Nation, he's saying still need to sign or extend Colton Miller.
Yeah.
And I know in a previous comment he said you don't draft O-line in round 1, but here's the thing. And this was kind of the reason why I drafted a lot Kelvin Banks. I trade back and I draft Kelvin Banks.
5 drafted yesterday. 5.
Yeah, there's 5. Like, you sure up this offensive line. But here's the thing to take into consideration, because I said this in previous lives, is, and I was telling you, Leo, yesterday, like one of the things that I take in consideration when I look at the number 1 is I also look at, can we address a need, but also pick certain positions that are the highest paid on your roster, so you can get them at a rookie contract, and you can get that 5th-year option, right? You got quarterback, number 1 receiver, number 1 corner, edge rusher, and offensive tackle. Left tackles, those 5 positions are the highest paid in the National Football League, and if you can get those on a rookie deal with a 5-year option, a 5th-year option, to me, I think that's the route you go. And that's why I would, not only in this draft, trade back and get the left tackle like a Kelvin Banks. What you do is it doesn't pigeonhole you into have to extend Colton Miller, because now Kelvin Banks could play right tackle, push DJ Glaze down. You don't have to extend Colton Miller, and then you move Kelvin Banks to left tackle. And now you have your left tackle for the next 4 years if you get that 5th-year option, and now you got him on a rookie contract. And so not only do you shore up this offensive line this year so you get an immediate impact with that pick, you also have the option of now having your left tackle of the future. And so that's why, to me, it made sense to look at offensive tackle in the first round with a potential trade back. So
I think that's why the Giants took Dart when they did. Because they probably could have waited to the 2nd to get him, but if they take him in the 1st, you get that 5th-year option plan. You know, you don't have to worry about paying him after. You know, now that Dart was a 1st-round quarterback, you get that 5th-year option with your quarterback. That's smart. I know we were talking about that yesterday. That's when MC was like, "Man, y'all still talking football?"
I think that might have been the first time MC was sitting with me, and we got into football talking to him, and like. Yeah, man, like, it can kind of talk forever. And John Rader, he's in there. He's saying Jonah Savanea and Wyatt Millum. Those are my 2 top guys today. I like Jonah a little bit better, but those are my 2 top guys. But Jeff, man, are there any guys you want today?
I mean, if I definitely want it, I want an offensive tackle. No two ways about it.
A tackle or a guard?
Either. I'll take either. Whatever's best there when it's our pick. I just don't think I know a lot of people still pushing Shedeur. I just don't think we need to waste the 2nd round pick on a quarterback at this point.
Yeah.
And now that we've got Gino, we've got AOC 12 as our backup.
Don't make his name up.
I mean, it's legit. That's what's there. Who else is going to be there? You got to protect him, because without a good offensive line, Genty isn't worth shit, and neither is Gino. If they can't stay on their feet and move the ball, then what's the sense of it? You know, we definitely have a weakness at guard for sure. You know, and then like 805 said, with the, you know, getting a tackle, you know, will prevent us from having to worry about extending Colton. You know, I mean, there's guys. There's. I mean, the good thing is the offensive guards and tackles. There's a lot of them that are still left that are going to be good and can still start.
Yeah.
And I already said it earlier in the chat. A guy I like as a dark horse late draft day draft day 3, possibly even an undrafted free agent. There's a good chance is that kid from Georgia, Xavier Truss.
Oh, you've mentioned him before.
Big boy guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to taking him. I know 805 loves Willie Lampkin, so I know that's
Willie Lampkin.
First pick, first round. We screwed up, guys. We screwed up.
No, you're not. I want to ask you guys one more question before we get out of here. I know we talked about shoring up that O-line. Obviously, the Shedeur dream is gone. I don't think it's going to happen. Do you think we still take a quarterback this draft, though? Maybe not today, but day 3, later on.
I think, what's his name? Will Howard? Not Will Howard. It's a possibility.
Right.
It's a real thing.
Will Johnson?
No.
No. A quarterback.
The quarterback.
Oh, quarter.
Like, are we still take one? Like, but not today. I don't want one today. I would say, do we still take one, say, tomorrow, day 3? Yeah.
I think if we don't pick a quarterback today, I think Will Howard could be a possibility. I mean, Chip Kelly and the experience with him. If Chip Kelly does think that his game translates to the NFL, it would make all the sense in the world. But here's my thing, and I don't know, I haven't been able to jump on with you guys and kind of talk about it, but I know a lot of people talked about trading away AOC, and my thing is that if you can get really good value out of it, okay.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it. But here's the thing: is he could, without question, be a hell of a backup. I still think he needs a chance to really figure out what we have in that kid. His entry into the league was shit. I mean, multiple offensive coordinators, playing with nothing but practice squad receivers. He gets hurt, last year. So you still truly need to give him a true shot to figure out what he is. But
3 different head coaches.
Yeah, like he's been in a shit situation. So I don't care who you are. You're not going to find too much success in what we've been able to provide him. But here's my thing is if you do get a quarterback, let's just say we get Shedeur Sanders at 37. Let's just say, right?
Okay.
I want to be able to sit a quarterback for at least a full year.
At least one
so
year,
that they sit and learn. And if you trade away Aiden O'Connell, now if Geno gets hurt, you're throwing your quarterback in there. And I don't want to do that. If Geno gets hurt, I want Aiden O'Connell going in there, and I still want my quarterback to sit because it's not I don't care about short-term, success with a rookie quarterback. It's about the long game, right?
Yeah.
And so if Geno gets hurt, I don't want to throw a brand new quarterback in.
Yeah.
So that's why it increases Aiden O'Connell's value on this roster because you can actually throw him in if Geno gets hurt, and you now still have a viable quarterback that either can keep you in games or if he, shows promise within the Chip Kelly offense, then he can at least be a fairly successful quarterback for you. But he needs a good defense to help him out. But that's why there is added value for Aiden O'Connell still being on this roster because if Geno Smith gets hurt, you can throw him in there. And you don't risk throwing a rookie quarterback to the Wolves way too early.
Yeah.
So
that's why I say don't trade AOC just because of what you just said.
Yeah.
Is that who you really want to be your backup? No, I don't. I'd rather go.
No, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah. I give you a lot of shit for AOC, but I understand his value as a backup. That's why I joked around like, what are we going to get for him? I wouldn't trade him unless, like how 805 said, you get good value. Same with Mayer, right? I wouldn't trade Mayer unless you get good value for that. If you do, then do it. But then at the same, because like he said, who's going to back up Geno, right? And right now, to me, O'Connell I think that's what he is. He's a formidable backup in this league. And having him there, he's kind of like, remember back in the day when we had Vince Evans? And he was just always fucking there. No matter who the starter was, Vince Evans was the backup. Yeah. Like that's how I see him as his role. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even at 90 years old, he was still going out there performing.
Remember?
He's like a gnat. He just wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
But you could
speaking of
count
Vince
on him. That's the
Evans,
thing. You could count on that guy.
you know who we saw yesterday, Jeff?
Who?
Most people didn't recognize him. Jay Schrader.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
walking
I
around.
said that the other day when I saw that picture of him. I said, it looks nothing like the guy I remember from his playing days. Like, not
he
at
was
all.
walking around. No, he
That's why
doesn't.
when
No.
you put the photo up or something in the chat,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm like, that Schrader doesn't even fucking look like him. Oh,
Yeah, real different.
Real different. I mean, you could tell he's big because he's tall, right? Like maybe he
Yeah.
played, but yeah, definitely way different though. Yeah. Uh-huh.
there's only just real quick. I want to make this comment now if I can.
Mhm.
I know the other talk is Will Johnson as
Yeah.
the possible
Pick.
pick for today is an option. I don't know if you've really looked into his injury history, dude. It reads like a MASH unit. I see why he dropped now. I didn't realize it was that bad. I was just talking to Gravy and we were going back and forth.
Oh, like
in the
what
chat.
happened to him?
Yeah, like how bad that injury really is. Like how many injuries he's had. You know, like the most recent one now, it's not a knee, it's a hamstring, which is why he didn't do his pro day. You know, so now I get why he fell so far. And I think he's going to continue to fall, to be honest with you. Someone's going to take his flyer on him at some point, and it's going to pay off, I get. But again, that's another situation that we're not in a position where we can take that chance, you know?
Yeah, there's two corners out there like that. Then I got my other boy. What's his name? Morrison, Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame.
What a rundown.
What's
Same
going
thing with
on,
him.
man?
It's his injury.
What's going on?
Yeah, my dog. What's up,
What's
man?
going
Ron, I
on,
was
man?
trying to talk to you while you were on your show. Remember somebody said, 900 yards for Genti? I did that average that you were talking about. That averages out to 52 yards a game. That's
That's
pathetic.
horrible.
What do I want that for? I
900
want that. Like, you feel what I'm saying? 52 yards a game is bullshit. Like, who wants that, bro?
And it's crazy because it makes sense because you used to think 900 while you're almost at 1,000. We play more games now.
Thank
right?
you.
It's 17 fucking games now. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Y'all probably been talking for a minute, but I asked the question, bro. I said, what are y'all expecting from this man first year? For me, bro, I'm looking around. I want 1,700 damn all purpose, bro. Like all
Hall of Fame numbers year one.
Bro, I want 1,700 all purpose. That's saying like if I get 1,300 in the rushing game, I want 400 in the receiving because everybody been telling me he's a receiving threat as well. I think he can be a receiving threat. So I think 300 and 400 yards ain't out of the realm for him to get in receiving. Right. But if you only give me 1,000 to 1,100 yards in the rush, like that's not really that impressive to me.
I think that's why I said 1,000 in your chat. I said 1,000 because I only said rush. Not
I got to back out, guys. Rundown's here so he can run the chat for you. I got someone coming to look at my pickup truck. So I
do you think?
Jeff, I'm gonna link up with you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'll be on all day tomorrow. So
hey, thank you.
Be on today too. So you got the link. Later, guys.
Cool.
Yeah, right. And shout out my guy 805 in the building, man. I know you was happy yesterday.
Man, I'm telling you, when that six pick was on the clock, I was looking at Leo. I was just like, I'm telling you, you either gonna see me or I'm gonna get my ass out of here. And so they passed on him. I'm like, all right, but then they went Genti, and I was like, that whole place, that whole draft party erupted.
Lit.
I'm sure. I seen it, bro. I'm sure. I seen everybody that was happy, man.
And then JT came out and hyped everybody up, bro.
Yeah,
I said we gonna kick Kansas City's ass. We gonna run all over Harbaugh, and
805 might not be too happy, you know. At pick 37, we'll see. Let's cross our fingers.
I told we about to me and Leo, we about to go link up. We're gonna head over to a spot over here and watch day 2. And I said, Leo, man, you might be eating and watching by yourself if I hear number 37.
I ain't gonna lie, man. They did my boy dirty, bro. They did my. I didn't talk. I sparingly talked about him in my show earlier, but I'm like, bro, they did him a little dirty.
Me and you will do that on Tuesday, bro, for sure.
We'll see where he goes. We'll see where he goes.
Yeah.
But you know, taking Jackson Dart, and I'm hearing Tyler Shook will go before him. It's mad disrespectful. Mad disrespectful. I can't get down with that one.
So, but here's the thing, though. Like rundown, like I know we linked up a few weeks ago. We talked about Shedeur, and I'll be honest, like it's surprising because teams make certain decisions, you know, by taking quarterbacks or whatever, right? Like, there are certain teams that make decisions that some, like again, like for myself, Leo, we were talking about we could place a bet on the over-under of Shedeur potentially getting drafted too, and I was like, man, where can I place my bet?
Yeah,
I was like, man,
that's a little
and because I was gonna be like, yeah, he's not. Again, I think his over-under was like a 2 or 3 or something like that. I'm like, man,
something like that.
I'll put my money on he's gonna fall a little bit, but the hard part is that based on what I see on tape, it's not surprising that Shedeur's falling. That's just my take.
right.
But I do think it would be pretty crazy, even though I do like Tyler Shough. I do like him, but there's a lot of concerns, obviously, with potential injuries, obviously, age-wise. I don't trip too much on age because if you still can get 10 solid years out of a quarterback and they're playing until 37 years old,
all right,
cool.
That's how old Geno is. Geno's 37.
Yeah, so like, but I'm not surprised he's fallen because of what I see on film, but I'm also surprised he's fallen because I'm sure teams would pull the trigger on him. That's why I know we still ain't safe. I'm not safe from that 37 pick with that man still being on the board.
Man. Just do it, bro. At this point, look, they talking about Will Johnson, right? I think I'm off that train. If you're talking about the knee injury, right? And I've said this already. There's like 3 of the top 3 corners all have injuries. Will Johnson, Ravel, right? They're all injured, dog. Right. Like, so at this point, bro, like, if you're gonna tell me to pick between the injuries, they telling me that Will Johnson's is chronic. I'm not with that. No, I take the other ones at least, you know what I mean, to see how they heal or whatever the case. Receiver is where it's at for me. That's where I'm looking.
I'm looking linebacker, dog. I want the dude from UCLA.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
Did you run down? Did you hear a little bit earlier? My takes on the lineman.
Nah, I just got off of work. Shit, I'm here.
So here's my thing, and when we were just talking about corners, it's crazy work that Maxwell Hairston went in the first. Which I like him. Don't get me wrong, I like him, but it's crazy that all the mock and Leo we were talking about before, all the mock draft simulators had him in like the 3rd. It's just like, damn, the shit's just off. But my biggest thing is like rundown. You want 1,700 yards. I feel you without question, all purpose. My biggest thing is we can't give any excuses as to why Genty goes 1,000.
Didn't get those.
We can't get, whether we say, well, the offensive line was still struggling or we had a hole at guard. So my thing is, we got to draft a guard, the best guard we can in round 2, so that we can shore up this offensive line and give Genty the best chance of success. I mean, if we give him a shit offensive line.
Thing, bro, you're speaking it, 805. That's my whole thing. Because look, I'm benching the base mark of success at Saquon Barkley. He gave them 1,300 yards rushing and 700 yards receiving. I'm not saying you got to give me 700 yards receiving, but we all do quick math. That's 2,000 yards all purpose. You feel what I'm saying? People were telling us this man's generational. I expect in the realm. The fuck? Like, I don't want no goddamn 900 yards or 1,000 yards, dog. Like 805 is because I can smell it now. I smell it on y'all now. I can see all y'all saying, man, he ain't have no guard. He ain't have this. Oh, this is it. The excuses is going to come when pretty much everybody on this panel were saying that before we picked him. We don't have this. We don't have
the guard. Yeah, we don't have the
And then when it happens, all of a sudden, bro, Cheeto, I tell you all the time, finally it happens. Then we look around and fall. What happened? How did this happen? How? And bro, we're all detailing it to you in the spring.
Like last year with the death. We kept telling motherfuckers our defense is good unless somebody gets hurt.
Yes. After that, it's over. It's a wrap, dog. And that's what happened. You feel me? So this is not saying just exactly what 805 said, bro. We trying to get this man the best possible avenues and routes to success. That's the whole thing. A better guard will do that. More explosion in the wide receiver room will do that. We got to continue to add, bro.
And that's my thing is, I was saying this earlier, if you could get Genty to the 4 to 5 times a game, if you can get Genty to the second level untouched, that's where he's explosive. That's where it's going to get nasty. And so
that's what I want.
If we can get him to the second level untouched 4 to 5 times a game, he's going to get that 100 yards every single game. And so
causing problems at that point. And
that's why I want to see us to have no excuses as to why Genty didn't work out.
Yep.
Get on the offensive line. Let's rock. And at the same time, you kill two birds with one stone. You protect Geno Smith.
You protect.
And so
Yep.
you're killing two birds with one stone by building this offensive line. And so, I do hope we go O-line, guard in the second. And Raider Pete, you said, who are my favorite? Number one, I love Jonas Savanea from Arizona.
That's okay, Jonah. Yeah, okay.
My number two is Wyatt Millam out of West Virginia. And my number three, if we don't get those guys, maybe we get this guy in the third round. He might drop to the fourth. Is the kid from LSU? It's
Miles Frazier. Miles Frazier. Yeah, Miles Frazier. Okay.
But because not Miles Frazier, but Wyatt Millam, Jonas Savanea, they played both guard and tackle.
That's
so they're actually tackles, and they're entering the draft as a guard. And my thing, and Leo said it before, like having linemen that know multiple positions on this offensive line create massive value because they understand what the guys next to them are supposed to do. And so they can jump into systems knowing what other positions do, and that's going to help them transition to the guard position just that much easier. And so I don't know. I'm those are the two guys that I hope we snag. If we do, all right.
I agree with 805. I think the only person I would switch out, I'm a Anthony Belton fan. So I'd probably switch out Frazier for Anthony Belton. I saw him at the Senior Bowl too. You feel what I'm saying? So I like what I saw out of all that. So but either way, go. Yeah, NC State guard, but he got guard tackle versatility too. You know what I mean? He can do both. He showed that at the Senior Bowl too. So I mean, just like 805 saying, you want to take the most versatile. At this point, I want to take versatile guys. That can probably play both spots. Jack asked an interesting question here, and I think I'll pose the answer first. But he says, "What's a bigger need, cornerback or guard?" I'm gonna be real, bro. Guard, because we just took a running back. And like 805, I don't want no excuses. I want all runway, dog, for him to do what he's supposed to do. So guard, let give the boy what he's supposed to have.
And that's what I was telling people the other day when we were doing our mocks. All that changes depending on who we get in the first round. Like if we get Genty, then we need to fucking shore up that fucking O-line. We need to get a receiver to help with that shit, Yeah. But we got to get going soon here.
We might need to I don't know if we can, man. Maybe go a little live at that Parkway Tavern, man, after each jump on and have a good time.
If the internet's good, we'll do it for sure. I'll bring my stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bring your stuff, man, because I don't know if I could transition my stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
And a show run's going to go on later, too, live for the draft. So make sure y'all tune in. I know they're doing their thing. Jeff and Jay and the boys also doing their thing. So everybody's out there doing the draft shit today. So y'all make sure you tune in. I know Gravy and them as well, right? Raider Nation Live. So whoever you want to follow, whoever you want to check out, y'all make sure y'all tap into their channels. And then we'll pop in one of those.
Exactly. We're gonna pop in because hey, we're gonna party. Leo, you're out here in the Vegas area, obviously.
Yeah.
I live near Vegas, and so we're gonna link up, watch this day 2, man. And
yes, sir.
And we might rock out all day long, but if I hear a certain name, you might be on your own, Leo. Damn it.
So, all right, brother.
But man.
We back.
Oh, cool. Okay. Run now. We're oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and grab him. I know y'all probably gonna go ahead and get to it because y'all gotta go ahead and get ready. Y'all in the IRL, so y'all gotta get ready.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's about to go down. Sure. It's about to go down over here.
I'm gonna say this: if we get Shedeur, I'm happy. All right, we got the running back, we got the quarterback. You feel what I'm saying? Now we just continue on from that. But I mean, whichever direction we go, we can get a really good player in these rounds, though.
We can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not the man tonight, man.
So,
all right,
and
thank you for tuning
real
in
quick to Jack Kenna's comment about a corner. The thing is that we brought in quite a bit of free agents in this defensive back room. So don't be surprised if Pete Carroll's cool with what we got right now. He develops guys. Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing that I always hold in the back of my mind is I think Pete Carroll brought in guys that he likes. So we might not see a corner till maybe tomorrow. Maybe.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah. We might not see a corner till tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. So, because only 2 went in the first round. Jahdae Barron went, which absolute stud. And then That Hairston
We can
kid,
get to a whole show about what our division did, dog. Our division had a nice draft. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah. I was saving that.
All of us
once the
did.
draft is over.
Yeah.
Like,
All of us
our
did.
division has some shit. Yeah.
And I was saying it earlier. It's like that's one thing that I take into consideration is can you draft somebody that's going to strike a little bit of fear in your opponents and maybe alter their draft a little bit. And I do think I'll give the Raiders credit. I do think they did a little bit of that. That the Chargers, all that, like the Broncos, they now need to know, oh shit, they got themselves a running back. It might change them up a little bit on their strategy. So we'll see.
You already know what time it is for me, man. His milk is ready, so I'm gone. But hey, appreciate y'all. We gotta do something at some point. All of us, we gotta do something.
Hey, I'm jumping on Jeff's stream. Rundown. You guys going on tomorrow?
Yeah, but I'm gonna be with Jay. I'm gonna be with Jay tomorrow because we got our little morning.
Oh, they got their morning, the Raiders morning show. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got hella guests. I'll mix it in. It don't even matter, bro.
I'm not going live on mine just so it kind of throws the views to you guys.
I get you. Yeah.
But I'll jump back and forth, man, because I'm
say less, man. Say less. Y'all have fun today, bro. Be safe for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man.
All right,
chat. We appreciate y'all.
Yep. One.
Peace out.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, let's
just win, baby. Look, check it out. All black with a hoodie, snapback, with a snap on. Long white socks, me mugging like I'm King Kong. With them all black Chuck Taylors. West side and this bitch yelling Raiders.